Hello and welcome to the EduTalk series hosted by Biotone EduPartner School Program, and massage industry experts. With the continued interest and popularity of the EduTalk series, Biotone continues to support virtual learning and building massage community by connecting you with industry educators who share their knowledge and expertise on topics not only for class discussion, but career success. Today's expert is Brian Trzaskos, president of New Health, Inc., and director of education at Somatic Coaching Academy. Brian's a holistic health expert and co-creator of sensation-based motivation coaching. Brian's nationally recognized for coaching, training, and mentoring healthcare professionals and in the evidence-based practices of mindfulness, Tai Chi, trauma-sensitive, somatic, and trauma-sensitive somatic coaching. Brian's a past presenter for the EduTalk series, July 2024. On trauma-informed practices. You can listen to his EduTalk in the archive library on biotone.com under the EduTalk tab. And let's listen and learn as Brian discusses the science of somatic exercises for massage therapists to enhance the effectiveness and grow their practices. Brian shares challenges every massage therapist faces to effectively manage their energy and business. Approximately 50 to 88% of massage therapists burn out within 3 to 5 years. Brian discusses practices ancient masters devised to enhance a practitioner's energy, skill, intuition, and longevity. Let's understand how adding and applying these practices will benefit you and your business. And Brian, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, everyone. Feel free to chat questions during the presentation, which Brian will answer at the end. Thank you again. I am going to exit the screen and come back and join you at the end of your presentation for chats. Thank you. It's all yours.
Cool, Danielle, thanks so much. Really appreciate having the opportunity to be here with you all this evening. You know, cameras on, cameras off, either way is great, but it is nice to know that you're here. And so, as Danielle said, anything you want to pop into the chat, we'll go ahead and address some questions at the end. And I hope that this is a really, really valuable experience for you. Let me just pull up my slides, and we're going to go really light on the slides tonight, folks, because really tonight what I'd love to do is do some practices with you, actually do some somatic practices. This topic is really near and dear to my heart. Danielle and I were speaking about this before we started tonight. I've had in my own personal practice, you know, doing somatic exercise and somatic practices have really helped to save my my professional career in a lot of the ways, and has helped to grow my practice. I think that helping massage therapists to stay in the game longer, stay healthier, be able to keep providing for both themselves and for their clients and for their families and communities is really important. So super excited about being here with you all tonight and sharing some of these ideas with you. So as Danielle said, here we are. We're going to talk about somatic exercises tonight, gang, specifically for you massage therapists to help enhance your effectiveness and grow their practice. I do want to thank Biotone for supporting this program. I think this is really great to give massage therapists an opportunity to keep learning and growing together in a format like this that has been really successful over time, and it just keeps going. And really excited to be here and grateful for Biotone for the opportunity for that. Okay, here we go, folks. So a little bit about me. Danielle already kind of noted this a little bit. I'm Brian Trzaskos. I'm the president of New Health Inc., director and co-founder here at the Somatic Coaching Academy. I have advanced certifications in both Eastern and Western medicine, a lot of history around trauma-sensitive mindfulness and trauma-informed organizations. I've been training professionals in health and wellness primarily for the last 15 years and have traveled to over 35 states in the US, about 35, 36 states in the US. I've trained over 70,000 PTs, OTs, massage therapists across the country in those years. I've been pretty busy doing that, and do a lot of somatic training, consulting, coaching. And I live in the Adirondack Mountains of upstate New York. So if you know where that is, up in the Champlain Valley, super beautiful summers up here. And right now it's hot and not cold like it is most of the rest of the year. All right, friends. So as we dive into this program tonight, this is what I want us to consider from a massage therapist perspective, that this is what the statistics reveal for us, is that 50 to 80% of massage therapists burn out within 3 to 5 years, okay? Now, why is that? Well, I think one of the reasons is this next statistic. And these statistics come from the US Labor Statistics Organization. The link is right here if you kind of want to look at that for yourself. But check this out, gang. The mean annual wage, which means the average annual wage for massage therapists in the United States, is $62,000 a year. Just pause for a second there. Now, that means there's some wages that are larger than that and some wages that are less than that, believe it or not. But the mean hourly wage for massage therapists is $30 an hour. Now, if you do the math, if you take out a calculator and do the math, that means if for the person, for the massage therapist, is kind of in the average $60,000 a year and at $30 an hour, it means that they are working 2,000 hours a year. If you break that down, that means that's 39 hours a week for 52 weeks a year. That means no weeks off, working full time, basically 40 hours a week to basically make those numbers work. Now, I don't know about you, but as a massage therapist, that sounds exhausting. Working for 8 hours, basically seeing 8 clients a day, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, all year long, to basically make that amount of money. So no, if that's true, and we have no reason to believe it's not true, again, some people earn more, some people earn less, then that completely makes sense why someone might burn out between 3 to 5 years, because who can keep up that pace? That's just not reasonable, my friends. And part of the thing that's really sad about this is that as massage therapists go on in practice, they become more skilled, they become more mature, they become more knowledgeable, they become more effective as time goes by. They can actually be more effective for their clients as time goes by. And if massage therapists are burning out in 3 to 5 years, then they never really acquire the kind of skills and techniques and experience that will eventually help them earn more money as they go along. So there's kind of this tipping point that can happen with people if massage therapists aren't really able to earn a living that is a functional or living wage for them, and they're also not able to take care of themselves, again, because of this trap that we kind of get caught in. So what do we do about this? Well, I think a lot of people have a lot of things to say about what we can do about this, but here's what the trends are. That most massage therapists are overworked, right? Most massage therapists, they just overwork. And they have to overwork because if you think about what the mean average salary is for massage therapists, then most massage therapists just work too much. Now, most massage therapists also say undercharge. Now, this might not be true for you, and you might not be most massage therapists. But if you look at the statistics, then it would lend us to believe in these trends or see these trends. And most massage therapists are tired. So most are overworked, most undercharge, most massage therapists are tired. And I really believe that most massage therapists really want to help people when they're not overworked, not overworking, not undercharging, and not exhausted. I mean, would you agree? Would you agree that that kind of relates, that as a massage therapist for you, that you really want to be able to give, provide care, love, kind of getting in there, helping people to feel better, and it's better when you don't feel like you're overworking, when you feel like you're compensated in a way that feels good for you, and you have plenty of energy. So I think that there's kind of something to say about that. So what do we do? What can we do to kind of start to shift this around a little bit? Well, this is where these somatic exercises and somatic practices come into play, my friends. And so in a moment, we're going to do a little practice together. And the reason we're going to practice together is because I want to kind of give you a demonstration, a shared demonstration of how somatic practices or somatic exercises can find their way into your practice and into your life in a way that can both support your energy, but also support the energy of your clients and your practice and your business. So, thousands and thousands of years ago, like massage therapy is one of the oldest sorts of therapeutic practice. Now, you all learned that when you went to school. And also, thousands of years ago, the people who originated a lot of these practices found ways to support their own energy systems in order for them to be able to support their clients or their patients' energy systems. So I'm going to share some somatic practices with you tonight. And I invite you to do these along with me right now. So you feel the practice. We're going to take like 20 minutes or so to kind of do a practice. You have an experience, and it works way better if you do it with all together rather than just either watching it or trying to multitask something. So if you're making dinner at the same time as you are right now, you're probably not going to feel the effect of the somatic practices. So the invitation is, if you're multitasking, go ahead and put those other things away for the next 20 minutes. I know that might feel like a really long time, and just practice along with doing some of these somatic exercises and note how you feel afterwards. Okay, so I'm just going to push away from my table. I'm going to go ahead and stand up. Although you could do these sitting, that's fine as well. Fine as well. Just going to adjust my camera so that you can see me way back here. Okay, my friends. So this is what the invitation is. So find yourself, standing or sitting down. And if you're sitting, feel your feet on the ground. If you're standing, also feel your feet on the ground. Unlock the knees. So we don't want the knees to be, locked out. We want the knees unlocked. If you're sitting, just relax. Make sure the knees are relaxed. Bring your awareness now to your pelvis, and we want to be in pelvic neutral. So not anterior tilt, not posterior tilt, somewhere in between where you have some flexibility in pelvic neutral, and the crown of the head lifted up towards the sky so the spine feels nice and long. We're just kind of sharing you some basic principles of somatic practices. Okay, so feet connected to the ground, knees relaxed, pelvic neutral, crown of the head lifted up towards the sky, okay? And then what we're gonna do to start off with is just begin to kind of wiggle and move your body a little bit. And as you're wiggling and moving your body, it's an opportunity to check into your own body. And checking in, you might just do a body scan, starting from the top and just kind of scanning downward, and notice what body areas are asking for more support in your body. And there might be other body areas that are not asking for any support at all and saying kind of like, leave me alone. I've had enough for the day, or I hurt too much. Don't come near me. So you're just kind of shaking and wiggling and starting a little conversation with your body around what body areas would like some more attention and what body areas are not wanting more attention. Just as kind of simple as that. So just start doing a little shaking and a little wiggling around, like you're bringing a little bit of motion into parts of the body that want it. Okay, time to do a nice long sigh now. So take a inhale and then an audible exhale. That audible exhale like that sigh is there's been some research to show that it's one of the fastest ways to help the body relax and vent tension. So let's do that again. Take an inhale in. Good. And then once more, take a nice inhale in. All right, great, great. Now, you're all body workers and you know how important it is to work on the body. And maybe some of you do acupressure and are trained in traditional Chinese medicine and that sort of thing. So we'd like to do a little circuit around the body we call stress scrubbing. So to do this, kind of start at the back. You do a little bit of tapping around these points on the back. They're actually bladder channel points. Back here, called the Sea of Vitality points, and you can do some scrubbing and some tapping on those areas, especially if you have the stiff back. It's really helpful for that. You do some tapping and some pounding through those areas. Throw in another breath. Good, and then we'll tap right down the back of the hips to the glutes and tapping around the glutes. Okay, and down the outsides of the thighs, relaxing the thighs so that they're moving and shaking a little bit. Okay, now just below the knees, on the very top of the tibialis anterior, there's a point there called the 3-mile point, stomach 36. And it's known in Chinese medicine to help energize the legs and also the rest of the body. So especially when people are feeling fatigued, are feeling kind of like they're wearing out, like they need a little bit of medicine to go 3 more miles, this is the spot to chop on. So just do a little chopping on there. So that's a great spot for self-care. Also, boy, people love to know about it. Okay, go down around the feet now, just kind of tapping down around the feet, up the insides of the legs, to a spot right here below the belly button called the Sea of Energy point. It's a conception vessel point. And then continuing on up past the solar plexus to a spot right in the middle of the sternum called Sea of Tranquility. And just kind of, I like to do just a little deep massage in this area with my fingertips like that. Doing a little deep massage in the Sea of Tranquility. And a nice long breath. Just relaxing that breath. Good, one more time. This is just a quick little circuit that we do through the body. The circuit we teach our students is a little more detailed than this, but with the time we have, this is what we're going to do. Okay, so now come on up and tap just below the collarbones. There's a spot right there called the Elegant Mansion, kidney 27 points. Great. Okay, now tap over one shoulder and just find those points back there in levator scap and upper tract. It's actually a triple burner point called Heavenly Rejuvenation. You just do a little massage on your own shoulder. I like to put a hand under my elbow there so I don't have to work too hard. Good on one side. Great. And then just switch to the other side and do a little massage over there. Take a nice deep breath. Okay, great. Let's do one more for the neck, which I really like to do, is take your right hand and bring it across the base of the neck and look to the left. Okay. Now allow your fingers just to gently sink into the base of the neck there, base of the head, I guess, and upper part of the neck. And slowly turn your head back to the right. And as you're slowly turning your head to the right, just feel your fingers drag across your neck, just dragging across. And you may feel some trigger points in there. You may feel some lumps, some tightness. You just look over to the right. Great. Now switch hands. Left hand comes up. As you're looking to the right, left hand sinks into the muscles on the neck and look back to the left. And whenever you feel like it, just throw in one of those nice long sighs, okay? All right, great. And then just kind of, kind of wiggle or move in whatever way feels good. All right, let's move on here. And just notice in your body before we move on, actually, does it feel any different than 5 minutes ago when we started this whole thing? And maybe it feels a little different, maybe it doesn't. I definitely feel like I have more blood, um, circulation, less tension, more relaxation. That's kind of what I'm noticing. Okay, so now, again, feel your feet on the ground. Knees are unlocked and relaxed. Neutral spine, crown of the head lifted to the sky. And there's a movement we can do called ring the temple gong, which is pretty simple. People do this pretty spontaneously. It's also called empty coat sleeves. Because imagine if you were wearing a winter coat and you took your arms out of the sleeves and kept them kind of close to your body like this, but you still turned your body side to side, your sleeves would just kind of float around the body. That's the same idea with this movement. So bring your awareness down to your feet. And with awareness at the feet, just kind of feel your feet pushing off the ground, almost like you're skating. Like one foot pushes, the other foot pushes back and forth. And as your feet are pushing back and forth, just allow that energy to rise up through the legs, right? The energy that's coming from you pushing off of the ground. And then allow that energy to come up to your waist, so it turns the waist, and allow the arms and the hands to relax completely. Like how relaxed can you get your arms and your hands so that they just drift around the body and they tap the body like almost like beating a drum. Arms are hitting in the front and hitting in the back of the body, but the arms are totally relaxed. I also think about this as like the string on a stick toy. If you ever remember when you were a kid, you had that toy with a stick, and at the top of it, you had kind of like two strings that would hang down with beads on the end. And if you spun the stick, those beads would whip around. That's the same kind of idea. Okay. Now, just do a nice big breath. And feel for a moment, just relax into the rhythm. Relax into the rhythm of the thump, 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 thump of the hands on the body. See if you can feel the vibration that's created when the hands hit the body, almost like if you're beating a drum. Nice and relaxed. These points that your hands are hitting, by the way, too, are also key acupressure and lymphatic points. Okay, now let's slow that down, Relax for a moment and reset the feet on the ground and the knees relaxed and tail settled or neutral spine, crown of the head lifted. I'm going to come into a very old and easy movement called flowing motion. So flowing motion is really simple. Hands just kind of drift up to no higher than shoulder height, and then they float back down just a little behind the waist, okay? Hands just drift up and then float down. Very relaxed, very relaxed. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And as we inhale up, the knees just kind of rise a little. And as the hands drop and we exhale, knees sink a little as the hands come behind the waist. Inhale again, rising. Exhale, sinking. Good. Inhale, rising. Exhale, sinking. And maybe envision like an ocean wave just traveling across the vast expanse of the sea. That wave just rising and falling. Now, there might be another image that comes to you just spontaneously. And if so, lean into that image and allow it to guide your movement, helping the movement be slow and fluid and rounded. Those are three really important principles of somatic practices in order to help enhance relaxation, but also something called physiologic coherence. So when we move in ways that are slow, fluid, and rounded, and we coordinate the breathing, and we focus our attention on the sensations of the movement themselves, we focus on the sensations. When we do three things, we move the body in a certain way, in this case, slow, fluid, and rounded. And we relax the muscles and relax the body, letting go of tension. And we coordinate the breathing. And we focus our awareness on the sensations and the flow of energy in the body. That creates the conditions for something called physiologic coherence. Physiologic coherence is when all of the body systems optimize their function. When the heart and the lungs and the brain and the kidneys and the neuromotor system and the immune system, when they all get on the same page, essentially, and they all start functioning in coherence with one another. That happens when you move in certain ways and when you coordinate the breath. All right, let's go to a different movement just for sake of variety. I'm going to do a movement called wind in bamboo forest, which just goes to the side and then to the center and then to the side again, just back and forth. Inhale and exhale. Coordinating the breath. Inhale and exhale. Sinking at the knees, and then rising at the knees, involving the whole body. Back and forth. So again, slow and fluid and rounded. Back and forth. coordinating the breath. Back and forth at your own pace. How slow can you go? Now, you may choose to go a little faster than I'm going. You may choose to go a little slower than I'm going. Invitation is to go slow and fluid and rounded. Like you're moving through water. Like you're, maybe imagine that you're in a deep pool, of warm healing water, and you're just kind of moving very slowly and fluidly in that pool of water. All right, nice. Just do one more each side at your own pace, and then we'll move on. Great. Okay. When you find yourself in the back in the middle, just come back to center, feet connected, knees relaxed, neutral spine, crown of the head lifted. Okay, now let's do this. Hands come up to the chest, and then kind of do this opening, like heart opening gesture. Good. And then we just come back together. Hands come in, and then hands go kind of down to the ground. Palms go down. Good. And then we inhale and exhale. You're opening up the chest and heart space. And then inhale and exhale back down to the ground. Knees bending. Inhale up. Exhale, opening the chest and heart. Inhale, gathering. Exhale, back down into the earth. And inhale. And exhale, like you're moving through water. Inhale and exhale. Now you might envision that as you inhale, you're gathering energy from the earth to the heart. And then exhale, sharing that energy all around you. And then inhale, you're gathering energy from the earth and from life. Then exhale, filling your body with it. These are just little visualizations that you could do. Inhale up. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Good. Now just pause for a moment. Just pause and just kind of stand for a moment and bring your hands out in front of you at about the level of your solar plexus or so. And just pause for a moment. Feel your feet on the ground, relaxing the knees, spine neutral, crown of the head lifted. And just check into your body. Just notice what you feel in your body. What does your body feel like now compared to just about 10 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago? And bring your hands about, about an inch apart if you can. Bring your hands about an inch apart, like kind of like that far. And imagine that you're just kind of rolling a small ball of energy between your hands. Imagine you're rolling a small ball of energy. And focus all of your awareness on that space between your hands. As we're rolling this ball of energy, notice that the ball of energy, imagine, has kind of like an elastic quality to it. So it can expand, and then when we push back together, it feels like there's some resistance with it. So let's do this. Inhale, let that ball become a little bigger. Exhale now, kind of push that ball back together again. Inhale, open, make that ball a little bigger. Exhale, push it back together again. Focus all of your awareness on the space between your hands. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And again, just roll. Imagine rolling that ball. Ball of energy. And once again, we'll inhale and exhale. Good. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now bring all of your awareness just once more to that space between your hands, rolling that ball of energy. And then take the palms and face them towards your body so that your hands are just kind of either either lightly touching yourself or just hovering off of your body a little bit. And if you're lightly touching yourself, just notice what that feels like, lightly touching. And if your hands are hovering off of your body, just notice, again, check into that space between your hands and your body. Just notice what that feels like. And the hands can do this gentle kind of pulsing over the body. Okay, and then what we're going to do is take our hands and just gently guide them up. We're going to what we call trace the channels or energize the meridians. Hands come around the neck and over the face and over the top of the head. Just some nice, easy, deep breathing down the back of the head, down the neck and off the shoulders. And just envisioning cleaning out or energizing the meridian channels. Down the back of the hips and the legs, down the outsides of the legs. Hands are just hovering. Imagine energizing the meridian channels around the feet and up the insides of the legs. Inhaling, coming up. Nice, relaxed breathing all the way up to the chest. Now, go ahead and just let one arm go out to the side and then just trace down one arm and then around the hand and around the fingers, and then just trace up the arm. Now, slow down, coming across the neck and face. Just check into what it feels like as the hand passes by the face and the head and keeps going. Let that hand keep going all the way out. Other hand now comes and traces underneath, around the fingertips, and then traces up over the neck and shoulder again, past the neck and past the face. and off to the other side. All right, good. Now just pause for a moment. Once again, just notice how you feel. Notice what sensations are present in your body. And let's just do one more thing together here. Okay. So for this, imagine that your hands are like little shovels, and the hands kind of reach down into the earth. And imagine that you could gather the energy of the earth, whatever that would feel like to you. Like maybe it's deep healing energy or like healing water, even. And then the hands rise up. And as they rise up, now imagine that you can gather the energy of all of life. Like right now, everything's blooming and there's green. Imagine you can just gather all the energy of the green plants. And then overhead, imagine you could gather the energy of the sun and the stars and the sky. And what if you took all of this energy and just poured it over yourself and felt it just kind of penetrate like a honey thick liquid, penetrating deep, 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 deep into your cells, into your pores, penetrating all the way into the bones so that you can save this energy for a time when you really, when you really need it, which might be tomorrow, but still storing that energy. So let's do that again. Hands reach down, like you're reaching down into the darkest, richest soil in the earth, the soil that's like filled with life and vibrancy that grows the best plants. And then as we come up again, we're gathering the energy of life, like all the green, the energy of all the vegetables that are growing right now, and the birds and the bees and the flowers, and overhead, gathering the energy of the sun, and taking all this energy once again and just pouring it over our heads and feeling that energy penetrate and pour over us like a warm shower, both covering but also penetrating deep, 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 deep. Long exhale. Ah. Now, one more time, just bring your hands back into the front. And one more time, just feel into that space between your hands. Just roll the energy between the hands. You can do some deep breathing and kind of this opening, closing gesture if that feels nourishing. Just do that a few times. Now take whatever energy is there between your hands. And if you don't feel anything, that's okay. But take your hands to whatever body part right now on your body that could use a little extra love. Maybe your tummy's been bothering you and you've got, some upset belly, and you just bring your hands to your belly and just let your hands either gently rest on your belly or hover over it. Maybe it's neck stuff that you're dealing with. Maybe it's low back stuff that you're dealing with. Maybe it's knee, whatever it is. Just bring your hands to that body part. And if you're feeling just, hey, I feel pretty good anywhere, just take maybe one hand to your heart and one hand down on your belly and just connect in with the energy that you've brought to mind between your hands. And whatever body part that your hands are hovering over, just give that body part just a little thank you. Like, hey, hey, low back, I know we've had our differences lately, and you've been sore and maybe I've demanded too much of you, but I wanted to just thank you for doing everything you can do to help me live the life that I really want to live. So just give those body areas just a little gratitude, just a little love. As you're doing that, just take a nice deep breath. Good. One more breath. And then we just simply close our practice by bringing our feet together. A little closing gesture can either be the hands together or one hand over another and then resting on the belly, something like that. Just pausing for a moment. And then just moving in whatever way feels good for you, right? Just take a moment to feel kind of good. Okay, now we'll kind of come back to our screens now. And as I kind of continue to do our presentation here, but I would love to know in the chat, and I'll look at it in just a couple minutes, like, hey, what was that experience like for you? You can also ask any questions too, but I would really like to know, what was that experience like for you? How do you feel any different now than you did before we started that practice? Just go ahead and share in chat. Love to know. I'd love to know if you've experienced anything different. Okay. All right, so we did a little practice. And those really were some somatic practices that were really based a lot in traditional Chinese medicine practices. You might pick that up from the meridians and the acupressure points and those sorts of things. So when research is done on these types of somatic practices, whether it be things like Qigong Tai Chi or more general somatic practice principles, which is what we've kind of been doing, what the research shows is that people have an improvement in their physical function, in their balance, in their cardiopulmonary fitness, believe it or not. Their breath capacity improves, their bone health improves, their quality of life measures improve, their immune system gets better. They have an improvement in their psychological factors like depression and anxiety and obsessive compulsive disorders, like all get better. People have pain reduction is a big deal for people. And also people have better energy levels, right? They have better sense of vitality, less fatigue. So there's been a lot of research done on all sorts of conditions, fibromyalgia, depression, anxiety, pain. Lots of places have shown a lot of promise for this. So why is this important for massage therapists to know? Well, I'll tell you from my own experience. This is just from my own experience. I've been a massage therapist for 25 years now, or 25 years, maybe a shade longer, 25, 26 years. And I'm not as busy with my manual practice as I used to be because I teach primarily now. I'm traveling and teaching a lot. I do have still a couple of clients that I see for body working, but at one point in time, that was my primary practice really for about 20 years. 20 years, I was every time I was working, in the clinic, was working with people's bodies. So my massage therapy practice was really about, I mean, again, I'm still going, but 20 years long, really primarily doing body work. And so that's a pretty long lifespan for a body worker. And I can really attribute my longevity as a body worker to doing somatic practices, 100%, 100% true. And so we teach our students and massage therapists and other manual practitioners to do these things because we know it extends professional lifespan. Extend your lifespan because you're doing self-care for yourself, number one. So you're really taking care of your own body, but you're really taking care of your own energy system on a regular basis. So that's really critically important. Now, what also happens, we know that when massage therapists do these practices is 100% it increases or improves your treatment quality and your outcomes with your clients. There's something intangible that happens when you start to show up clean energetically. And one of the things that I guess it wasn't really like an issue or a problem, but if it was a problem, here's what it was. I had too many patients. Um, when I was working, like my treatment quality and outcomes were so good that I had wait lists constantly for patients. And that's just the way it was. And even when I tried to refer out, they were like, no, I want to come see you, and I'm willing to wait another month to see you rather than going to see this other person, because I brought something different. And it was really because of the somatic practices. It wasn't because my skills weren't necessarily better. Maybe I just got better over time because I practiced for so long. But really, it was really the energy and how I showed up energetically that made such a huge difference for people. So I had better outcomes and quality outcomes, which really helped my practice grow. But I also took care of myself as well. So I always had plenty of energy. Now, this is an interesting thing too. I really want to share this is really important. When I was doing a lot of somatic practices, and most importantly, when I was teaching classes, when I was leading classes to my clients, my client retention and referrals went through the roof. And this is the secret that I'd love for you to understand. As a massage therapist or a manual therapist, if you also choose to not only do somatic practices for yourself, but if you decide to get trained in leading others how to do somatic practices, what happens is that your clients and your community will come to your classes, and then eventually during a class, they will ask you if they can come and see you privately for work. So a basic example was this. When I was primarily doing my brick and mortar practice of PT massage therapy, and I added in somatic practices, I had a room that I would teach in that was between 12 and 15 people that it would take. I taught 2 classes a week, and it was always full. I always had a wait list for it, because I was teaching people how to empower themselves, and they really liked that. So people would come to class to feel good every week, and I would do classes on like neck and shoulder health, or somatic practices for low back health and that kind of stuff. And what would happen is people come to the classes, but then they would always say afterwards, I still have this sticky problem in my neck. Can I get in for a session with you? And I'd be sure. And then when they were done with that session, they go back into classes again. So it's a way to cultivate community and keep bringing people back into your universe, into your kind of your world of what you did. And it helped create a community of people that would trust, know, like, and trust you or me in order to keep receiving services. So it's like, it was really a win-win for everybody. The patients and the clients loved it because then they could take care and manage their own, and they loved coming and learning these practices to feel better and to relax more deeply. But then they knew they had you close by to ask you questions, and also for me to get on my schedule to do work with them. So it was really a huge win-win. And this is a secret, folks. I just really want to share that with you. As a massage therapist, if you were to just like take out a couple of massage therapy clients a week and do lead classes in that place, you'd feel better because you're doing practices for yourself. You're empowering more people, which means that you're actually earning the same amount or more money actually doing a group class than one-on-one, but you're doing it in a way that actually replenishes you, and it adds more longevity to your practice. It's really a game changer, friends. I really wanted to share that idea with you and just give you a little sample of doing that today. Okay, now if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what we do with our somatic skills at the Somatic Coaching Academy, here's a quick link to where you can learn more about that. This is in the handout too that Danielle will be sharing with all of you. And hey, thanks so much for being here tonight. I'd love to answer some questions now.
Yes, I haven't seen any chats come in yet, Brian, but one of my thoughts was this is also excellent for children
Yeah.
to really create a calming environment, help them understand how to calm themselves down, excuse me, and feel much more relaxed. So I think that's a great idea that the therapist can teach some of their clients, and the clients in turn can take that home with them and not only use it for their self-care, but with their family.
Yeah, I love that. A lot of that's happened very frequently with my clients and my students now, where they come to class and they take it home to their families, and it's always really rewarding for people, especially for people with young kids that tend to have anxiety more frequently than other people do, right? That younger generation are oftentimes dealing with a lot of that anxious energy. These practices are
So much more
hugely
stress.
regulating for them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed in the chat, so somebody said this was an amazing experience. She felt so relaxed and in touch with her body. That's awesome. Um, uh, Laura said, I feel more relaxed. I feel, felt the stress release. That's fantastic. I was really hoping that those are kind of experiences that people have. And this was just a sample, right? That wasn't even 30 minutes that we did that together. And this is just a basic sample. Imagine what you can do with regular practice with this, and sharing it with others. It's really like a thing that keeps just moving people forward in the world, I feel like.
That's true. And Janice had pointed out, great point, especially kids with
Yeah,
ADD and autism.
absolutely. It's a great point.
Okay, Melena is asking, do you offer training and do you get certified?
Yes, yeah, we do absolutely. At the Somatic Coaching Academy, we have what we call the Somatic Practice Essentials certification, where you can come and do that with us. So if you can either reach out to us at info@somaticcoachingacademy.com, or click through that link and you'll get right to the site, and send us an email and we can kind of set you up with all the information about how to do that, how to investigate it further.
Yes, and for those of you attending for the first time in EduTalk, the day after the EduTalk, we send a follow-up email out with a link to the recording, the presenter's handout, and also the contact information for phone, email, website, and tomorrow's follow-up, I will include a link to Brian's 2024 Trauma-Informed Practice EduTalk so that you can view that as well. Do you offer online training?
Yes, yeah, our level one somatic practice essential training is actually all online. So you can do it right from your own living room. We do it both in person and online, but there's online options available.
Great. And again, that contact information will be in tomorrow's follow-up email. So watch your inbox at mid-morning, and if it's not there, please check your junk or spam folder. Awesome. She was glad to hear you have online training. So I know because of your bio, you also do Tai Chi, and I felt some of those movements were a little bit Tai Chi-ish. When
Yeah,
you got
well,
to the hands and the
mhm.
ball and the energy. And
Yeah, yep, yeah. So Tai Chi and Qigong are somatic practices, and when we do our training, you can certainly call them Qigong and Tai Chi because they're based in those principles. And we've also found that for a lot of people, when we call them somatic practices, which is what they are, because somatic practice is a pretty big bucket of things fall in there, that it lowers the barrier for people to want to actually do them because they don't sound strange, sort of thing. So we've done a lot of research around what will people actually want to engage with and do. And that's why we call them somatic practices, but they really are based in Qigong and Tai Chi practices. A lot of traditional Chinese medicine there.
very good. Um, well, I don't see any other comments coming into chat. We have a minute. If anyone has a last question. Otherwise, Brian, do you have anything in closing that you'd
You know,
like to share?
Yeah, no, nothing other than saying, Danielle, thank you so much for hosting, for Biotone and for you hosting these talks. I think that they're really great. I love sharing this information. I really hope, as massage therapists, that you've gained something from just being here tonight. If nothing else, that you were able to kind of relax your own nervous system and see some possibilities for yourself. What I've really learned over time is that, we can read about these practices and we can think about these practices and we can talk about these practices, but nothing changes until we actually do these practices. And once you start doing these practices regularly, it can change so many things in your life that it's really hard to describe, to be perfectly honest with you. The way that you feel different, the way that you think different, the way that you become different when you do these practices. And to share that with yourself and with other people, I think is one of the greatest gifts that we can give one another in a world right now that oftentimes feels so anxiety provoking and so uncertain. This is really a gift that people want and they're asking for. So the invitation to you is just go do this. Find a way to share this stuff with, learn and share it with other people, and you're going to help the world be a much, much, much better place.
And it really could just start with, as you're greeting your client, and they might share with you they're stressed or they need a relaxation massage. It might be an opportunity for the therapist to say, well, let's just take a moment with this, or let
Yeah.
me share this. And so it could be a great start to a massage. Probably, I would say a short version of it,
Yep.
but then you'll all get this recording as well. So you can always share that with your clients and empower them at home as well to do these exercises. Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
also, I'd like to mention, and this will be in your follow-up email tomorrow, we have upcoming EduTalks in July. For those of you that aren't familiar with the EduTalk Diabetes series, we will have July 15th, Dr. Castro presenting on diabetes type 2 and insulin resistance, essentials for reversal. And then on July 22nd, returning once again to the EduTalks is James Waslowski, and he will be presenting integrated manual therapy and orthopedic massage for complicated shoulder conditions. So please, RSVP opens tomorrow for James. Watch your inbox. Join us for future EduTalks. Thank you for all you do for others, and join us again. And thank you, Brian, so much. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much, Nell. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, take care. Be safe. Bye.